Coming up, internet praises women for leaving boyfriend who says they can't be equal. Gender equality, the gender pay gap, all that good stuff. That's on this edition of Depraved and Debaucherous. Thanks for listening in or watching this King of Podcasts. Story comes in here, and they mentioned that a woman has been praised who split up with her boyfriend after learning she did not believe that men and women could be ever equals. When they can, equal partners, if people are doing their share and share alike. That's how it should be, but they're talking about equalities. That could be a whole discussion that I'm not going to get into at all. So I'm just saying right off the bat. So 34-year-old Jade Cassidy was on Reddit in the True Off My Chest forum, talking about she broke up with her boyfriend of 2.5 years because he does not believe in marriage and does not believe they could ever be equals. Okay, doesn't believe in marriage. That's a different story. That's not anything about being equals. So we don't know all the whole story about it, but let's go ahead and just take that right there. When it comes to marriage, yeah, there is no equality in marriage. I'm just saying it. That's why I'm not married. Because the equality of guys, when it comes to if you have children or divvying up the amount of income or property that's been accumulated between both of you, the women always come out better. We know that's how the laws of the state here in America are like that, and in many other states the same, or many other countries the same way. We know that's how it is. So she says, quote, "We were arguing, which we rarely do, and I brought up the fact that after 2.5 years, he's never spoken about an engagement or marriage with me. He worships me and constantly praises me, tells me I'm the best, so I thought it would be no doubt who would take that step forward. But it was shocking news when he told her that he never wants to get married. That marriage only benefits women because they get to take the house and car in a divorce." Right. Well, the thing is, there's a lot of that going on where, right now I have a best friend of mine that never got legally married. Common law. He's engaged, but he never actually did the wedding, never did this wedding license, nothing like that. But that's something you need to go and say. If you're going to get into a committed relationship, that actually should be something that should have been said a long time ago. That's where the guy went wrong. He should have actually said something. But of course, he went along with it because he thought, oh, it's going to be okay. I'm not going to have to worry about this for a while. So yeah, 2.5 years of a relationship. Yeah, the woman has all this emotional invested interest in you. And now she realizes you don't want to be with her for the rest of her life in the way that she feels like it should be done. She complained that her 27-year-old boyfriend also said that he wasn't ready for the couple to move in together. Explained that he said this was because he is not financially stable enough to provide for me. Well, 27 years old, and what? And she says she's 33, right? 34. 7 years age difference. That's a different thing right there altogether. Yeah, 27 years old. You're in a committed relationship. You're going to realize by this point, if he hasn't gone out and really enjoyed himself and has gone out and lived life, 27 years old to get married is going to be young for some people. Not everybody, but some people are going to do that. But we also know that some people get divorced. This is the age where they just try to go and get married and they get into it. They feel like they're in love with each other, and then things change and people change. And that's what happens. One of the things I always heard was, if you want to live with somebody, and I don't know if they did or not, but I think one of the things we got to talk about here is, were they living together? Because I don't believe they said anything about living together. I don't know if that part's in there. And then she mentioned that I told him we make the same amount of money and we could afford it with the two incomes. He says he has to be mainly responsible for the bills because he has to be the head of the household. We cannot be equals because men and women will never be equals. Okay. And then she says, I told him the no marriage thing was a deal breaker. I also can't imagine my life where my partner doesn't see me as an equal to them. Okay, well, he put his foot in his mouth by saying that men and women will never be equals. Okay. No, women can always be more the breadwinner and the income earner. That's obviously, we know a lot of stories where that's actually true. But in this case here, this story's brought up, and it's funny where, the guy wants to be able to provide because there's that natural instinct for us to be providers, protectors, supporters, and we're supposed to be doing that. Like that's how we're built. That's how we're designed. That's what we were raised to do, is to do right for the women that we love. Well, he wanted to make sure he can do that. So he wanted to probably make sure his everything was going on. But the woman right here pushing forward for the relationship to be to marriage, if he's not going to do that, I guess this is the way to find out, really give some closure, because this is something she had on her mind. She's like, well, I think that, I need to find this out. I need to find out from him if this is the case. And sometimes, she's lucky she got an answer for this guy, because some guys won't give that answer, won't necessarily say what he's going to say, knowing that there'll be a breakup. Some guys will probably just kind of work around it, or they'll just say whatever they're going to say in order to avoid that conversation. So among 3,000 Americans surveyed worldwide from a 2021 American Family Survey, 58% said they felt marriage leaves families and children are better off financially. 52% agreed that marriage was needed to create a strong bond in families. When equality in relationships, a 2020 Pew Research Center report revealed while men are still more of an influence than women when it comes to decisions about household finances, the majority of people worldwide said the marriage where both the husband and wife have jobs and can take care of the home is more satisfying than a marriage where the husband provides for the family and the wife takes care of the house and children. Okay. And that just depends on the couples. But there's something to be said about, we don't know in this story if they were living together. So there were comments, obviously, to her post. One person saying, this is why you discuss deal breakers and life goals when dating. What a shame to realize you're not on the same page for 2.5 years. Sounds like breaking up was for the best. I agree. And then she says, I knew there were several differences in our views on various topics. I just didn't realize how much of an obstacle it was going to be until the marriage subject arose. And she said, quote, I can understand traditional men and women roles in the household to respect that to some extent. But to know that you will never be seen as an equal to someone that is supposed to be your partner is really disheartening. And I agree with that. It's not about the money that is the contributor to the relationship. Because remember, it's the woman that is to be able to be the mother, the one that's able to bring children into the family, to create a home. And the raising and the upbringing of those children, it's going to be very dependent upon the mother, upon that woman, no matter if she's full-time working or not. Like, both parents are equal partners. Okay. Just because the financial part is not, the raising of children, that's an equal partnership, equally important by both sides. And that can be the same thing for dominant or submissive, or, whoever is the more masculine or feminine side of a relationship, partnership. Same thing goes. Kids need to have both sides of that coin. They need to have that. So that's a really interesting story. I really appreciate that. And what I didn't know is that if she was moved in with a guy, if they were living together, because that's when you really find that stuff out. And most importantly, if you're going to get in a relationship, if I was going to do it, I would definitely need to live with that person through a cycle of so many different things going on in my life to really know that person is going to be somebody to live with for a lifetime. And to take marriage as serious enough that it's just a life bond till death do us part. Take that part seriously. But some people don't, because they want to be able to go out and do what they want to do, because we're all a little depraved and debaucherous.